Good morning and welcome to another beginning drawing class. I want to begin by doing a little bit of a review on the principles. And the very first one is observe. So it seems, just from my own experience of teaching, that one of the most important principles is to look at your subject, to observe your subject. But it's one of the things that people do the least. In so many classes that I've been in as a student, but also as a teacher, the subject is there, people just start drawing right away, and they don't really look at your subject. And you'll be surprised that if you really look at something, you'd be surprised at what you see. And so I cannot emphasize enough how important it is before you do anything is to look at your subject. So that's number one. The second one is simple shapes. And interestingly enough, today we're going to be doing just that. We're going to be doing some characters, maybe you might call them, but when you really look at them, there are people who look like this, okay? But simple shapes. We're going to be doing these drawings, and basically all we're using is simple shapes. And so the third principle then is relationship. And basically what that means is, how do things relate to each other? How does this part relate to that part? How does this line relate to that line, this shape to that, this color to that color? Relationship. And then draw lightly. And that is so important, because when you draw too hard, sometimes, because I don't care how good you are, you're going to be doing some erasing. And so, but especially in the beginning, you're going to be doing maybe more erasing than somebody who's experienced. And so by beginning lightly, it's a lot easier for you to erase the lines without leaving any marks. So very, very important. And then finally, repetition. Repeating. Now we're going to be doing several characters today, and I recommend, you're going to do what you're going to do, but I recommend that you do each one at least 3 times. And you'll be surprised, by the time you do the second one, and then you get into the third one, now you can pretty much do it without looking at your subject, because you've done it enough. So I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to do something several times so that you feel comfortable with it. Okay, so we're going to begin. And the book that we're using is by Andrew Loomis, who is one of my favorite artists from way back when. And this first book is one of his basics. It's called Fun with a Pencil. And it's just perfect for what we're doing. And so he breaks it down, and you're going to get, Kate made a copy of 2 pages here that we're going to be dealing with, and he breaks it down into 4 sections. But basically, it's all simple shapes. So we're going to begin with this first one. And so the first basic shape that we're going to be using is a circle. And so if you've been practicing your circles and your lines and the most basic things, you're going to find that, for example, the very first thing that we're going to do is draw a straight line right down the middle. And so that's going to break the subject up. So now I don't know if you can see these. I don't want to draw them too heavy to begin with, but you're seeing what I'm doing. So, and then right smack in the middle, you're going to draw another circle. And then right above, not quite in the middle, between the top and the top of the circle there. And then the same down below, not quite in the middle. And then here is going to be an eye, and over here is going to be an eye, and so you're using that line up above there basically to guide you at where you're going to put that. And then above that there's a little eyebrow. But again, they're just simple shapes, and so working on the nose, the nostrils, he's got just another circle over here and another circle over here. And then he's got these big cheeks, which are, again, nothing more than a circle. And then the ears are almost like a semicircle. So the location being right about where that line was, right up here. So that's like the top of the ear. And then here, he kind of does like a chin, but again, very simple shapes. And then he's going to put a little hair here. He's mostly bald, which makes it easy for a beginning drawing, right? Okay, so now I'm going to darken this up so that you can see it a little more clearly. I'm going to begin with the eyes. Now he has the dark of the eyes over here on the side, so he's looking off to the side. And that's another circle. I mean, it's darkened in, but it's basically just a circle. And then the eyebrows above are just solid. A very simple line. And then the other side. So basically today we're just using pencil, and I prefer the 2B. We've talked about this before, but B's are soft, H's are hard. 2B is not too hard and not too soft, but it goes up to 3B, 4B, 6B, 8B. So, but just for the basic drawing, I like the 2B. I have a number of different ones, but depending on what you want to do, when you're doing a lot of shading, your higher numbers in the B are very useful. Okay, so then the nose, even though it began with just a circle, basically, that's all you need. You got these circles over here, and I mean, you got your nostrils, you got everything you need for a face, just using the simplest of shapes. It's amazing. Okay. Then he has the cheeks, these big old jowls that he has here, which works for a character like this. And then you've got your little bit of hair here, your ear, and then coming back to the chin, which here again is just a semicircle, you're using your original circle, and then you got another one here for the other jowl. And your ear, a little hair, draw the outline of the top of the head, you can add, once you take a look, you'll see some little areas, little detail that he does, which are important or unimportant. It's up to you. And so basically that's one right there. Now the next one we're going to do is a 3/4 view. So it's a little bit different. So we're going to start again with a very simple shape, your circle. Now, the size that you use is up to you. This is a good size. His are a little bit smaller than this, and you might want to do it smaller, but whatever you feel comfortable with to begin with. But so here now, that line down the middle is not going to be down the middle because you're looking at this from a 3/4 view. So everything is going to be a little bit different. So you've got your circle for the nose down here, but as you can see, it's off center because you're looking at it from the 3/4 view. And then the lines above where the eyes are going to be. And you have more of the top of the head because of the angle that he's turned this. So it's a good different approach than your right front view. Now he also has some jowls on this character as well. But what's good about it at this stage is they're all simple shapes. I mean, they don't get any simpler. Now here, this one has a moustache. And so that gives you something new to deal with. And then when you look at the left side, you've got a bit of a jowl here, and then your ear, you don't see quite as much of it because it's on the far side, whereas on this side, starting at about just above the eye a little bit, you've got much more of the ear because this side of the face is more dominant. And then he has a very interesting eyebrow up here, which is kind of neat to do something a little different than that. So now that we have that, now we can, once I get a little hair up here, and we'll darken that so that you can actually see it. But okay, so I'm going to darken the nose. Very simple shapes. Now he has the eyes down a little closer to the nose, so I'm going to change that. And one of the reasons that I'm doing this is for you to be able to not be afraid to change things, not be afraid to erase something that you don't like, and adjust things according to how everything is developing as we go along. So I like those eyes better in relation to what he's doing here. So that's part of what we're observing, is trying to replicate or duplicate or represent what is in front of us. So what Andrew has created, and then hopefully what you create as you go along. So basically what this is an opportunity for you to see how you can use just simple shapes to create a character, and then hopefully from that you will create your own characters, which is the fun part. But it's nice to have a little guide to begin with, and that's what hopefully these are for you. So, and then a little hair, a little bit of a jowl. So I'm changing this here. So I'm erasing it so that you can see it a little better. And then your ear over here. A little bit of hair. And the only thing we need then is his interesting eyebrow up here, which goes all the way across. But there are people like that, so it may be a character, but it's also part of reality if you start looking around. And the interesting thing is, once you start doing portraits or characters and you start looking around at people, you'd be surprised at how many different looking people there are in the world. So, okay, so that's that one. I'm going to do one more here. But I don't think I'm going to do that one. I think I'm going to do this one over here. Now, again, we're starting with a circle. But this time, this is another front view, but this time, instead of going straight up and down, we're going to take it to another angle. So if you can see that. And again, now this time, get the nose right here. And this time, so even an artist, now he's got this broken down into 4 stages, but the first stage, he's got the nose way up high, and then later it's closer to the middle, so we're going to put that right there. And then the eyes are much smaller than the other ones, and part of it is it's almost like the mood that is being created by this facial expression, because he has this big old bodacious smile that and then you've got your circles over here, and then the ears. I think I'm going to cut this back just a little bit here and here. So, I mean, it's okay, so then your ears on this one are a little bit lower. And you got a little bit of hair here and here. You got your little eyebrows up here. And so so then we'll darken everything in so that we can see it. So the jowls, you don't have to draw the whole thing. It's just get the feeling of it by emphasizing certain areas. And this comes around, goes all the way over the top of the head. And he has very lightly here, very lightly here, but this is the kicker right here, is this big smile. And then you've got your ears. You got a little hair here. Okay. So then, after you've had an opportunity to do a few of these, then try, just experiment with something using the basic concept, beginning with a circle. And then, if you need to draw the line down the middle, you can do that. You can have a nose. You can have some eyes. And we can have it going the other way. And then, instead of so I'm going to cut that back a little bit, and I'm going to erase a couple of things here. Erase that. Erase that. So we've got an ear right in here. And we're not going to have any jowls or anything. But what we can do is emphasize the nose. And we got the eyes. And the eyebrows. We've got a mouth, but what I want to do here is we're going to have a beard. So we're going to do that kind of like this. And I don't need the chin there anymore. And so we can just bring that right down here so that we so again, it's once you understand the concept by doing a few of those, then you can use your basic shapes to determine what you want to create by making it easy for yourself by using the simple shapes. So what we have here then is a bearded wonder. Here is, I don't know if he's a hippie or if he's an artist with a beret. I don't know anybody who wears a beret around here, but so the beret then becomes one of the important elements. So there's the band. Then we're going to puff it up here, and you can do different things. And then get your ear here. Now, because you've got an ear, what things you can do is put a ring in his ear. That way. And there we are. And so, I think that's going to do it. So, thank you very much, and look forward to seeing everybody in person where I can work individually with each one of you with what you're working on. So, thank you very much.